That is a great segue. We'll look at the yeah. No, I think maybe to lead into the sort of internationals because the Reign have, oh God, I don't know what the final number is. I think it's like
12. I believe it's
12.
12 is the
Yeah.
number I saw.
Um 12 internationals. So Jesus Christ. But also yes, I was at was at open media training on Tuesday. Um excuse me. I don't know why I didn't just say yesterday at this point, but hey, my sense of time is all messed up. I kind of forgot that the match was at the same time as the Storm game, and Bella yesterday was texting me. Whatever. Um, and so one of the interesting notes, I still don't have proper clarification on this because I was told what was happening, but I was like so busy rushing to tell Bella about it that I lost the train of thought. Because so I got up to open media training. Essentially, I am a psychopath, which can be just said in a vacuum. But
Hmm.
also, I like to get places early, as Bella painfully knows. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I'm about half an hour early before Laura's supposed to get out there to speak with us, to whatever media goes out to open media training. Anna Maria Srnagorcevic, who will join Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Switzerland, was out there with some of the other technical staff um, for about half an hour, and did not train with the main group, which was fascinating to me. I'm like, is she hurt? Like, did something happen that I missed? And I was told, again, this is paraphrasing, so please don't use this verbatim,
Yep.
that she was training and going to leave earlier to join Switzerland, and she's going to miss this match against the Spirit. I asked Laura this so we could like get it on the record, and I don't know if you remember, Bella. I'll look at my otter, but I don't think Laura confirmed that. It was interesting. Oh yeah, then I asked about Sophia. We'll get to Sophia in a second.
I mean, what I can say while you're looking is, as much as you never really want to be missing a player, at least it's not like one of your normal inked in starters.
Yeah. Uh,
um, she's an important piece off the bench, and I want to give her credit for how she's helped this team. But with all the teams preparing for the Euros, my guess is it has something to do with that, and also just the fact that the travel is so far. I don't know where they're playing, um, but it it could be worse, especially considering the sheer number of internationals that are going during the break. I believe they're the team with the most out of any NWSL club. Um, so not exactly sure what will happen with that. I'm, honestly more interested to see Jess Fishlock and Norelia Monjasir back because you said Laura said on Tuesday that they will both definitely be available
yep.
for the game against the Spirit. And, I think we've seen the past few games pretty much consistently the same starters, same formation, and pretty similar subs as well. Although we did see Emily Mason against Louisville, and we hadn't seen her in a little while. Um, but I'm really curious to see how those players fit in, especially because G didn't play against Louisville, and typically I think of Norelia as a player who might play in a sort of similar position to G or Jordan Heitema. And surely Jordan could use the rest because she's played a lot of near full 90s, if not full 90s. But I'm also curious to see how, obviously Jess Fishlock is a brilliant player, and no one is going to question that. If you have a Jess Fishlock healthy and available, you play a Jess Fishlock. But at the same time, you know, she's probably, her and Meza are probably the same position, right? And I don't think Meza has come off in any recent games.
Jesus.
She's played a lot of minutes, and her partnership with James Turner has been really really solid. So obviously Jess and Anghra James Turner benefit from knowing each other and their style of play from Wales. But Sam Meza has been so good and so important defensively that
Oh my
I wonder how Laura manages that. Obviously, we don't know how many minutes Jess is going to play. My guess is somewhere like 15, 20,
God.
just because she's been out for so long. And you certainly don't want to rush her back and have her be injured, especially right before she flies to Europe to play for Wales. Um, so, hopefully Sam's how well she's been playing allows them to be as cautious as they need to be with Jess. Um, but we're so used to seeing the team really almost reliant on Jess being in the midfield, or at least kind of knowing that she's going to be there. She's been such a steady presence there for so many years. And Sam Meza has really stepped up in that role majorly. So I'm curious to see if that means Jess gets played higher up, or if that means Jess comes in for Has and Sam goes a little bit lower. I'm just curious to see how that pans out with her and Coco coming back, and obviously the creativity they can bring. I think Coco's a great kind of end of game player to bring on, because she brings so much energy and fierceness on the ball, and some really fantastic creativity. And I think I would love to see Jess run at tired legs, instead of having to be the one who's coming off in the 60th minute because her like calf is cramping again, because I feel like that's happened so many times. It'll just be interesting to see how they're integrated back in, because an issue that the team hasn't necessarily had in at least last year is having a lot of talent that could start and maybe even should start, but will be on the bench. I'm thinking like G against Louisville, right? Like that is a starting caliber player that did not play at all. And we have no clue if there was an injury or anything, but there's it's a good problem to have, that you have so much talent that you have to figure out where to place
Yes.
it. My question is, how long is it going to take to figure out where to place it? Are they going to just be playing a lot of different lineups a lot of different times? Will that mess with flow and communication and sort of the good defense they've had going? So I think there's just a lot of things that'll be really interesting to see how they pan out. I have no clue. I'm just fascinated and interested to see.
Two things.
Yes.
Sam Meza has played full 90s dating back to the Angel City match when
Yeah.
she only played 61 minutes.
Yeah.
Her start to the season was interesting. 1 minute against Gotham and then 20 against North Carolina.
Because
Um,
Jess was starting. Jess was healthy, so
yes,
Jess was starting.
yes. Um, so going back to Anna Maria, I did listen to the Otter. I asked Laura if she would be available or if she would miss this upcoming match. She goes, she might do. Yes. So I'm assuming she's just being coy, but
I mean, she'll have to be on the injury report if she
oh,
is
oh, we won't get
injured.
that till tomorrow.
Right. But if she will definitely be unavailable, we will know. If she's like questionable, we'll know as well. We
Yes.
just won't know until tomorrow.
So that was Anna Maria. Sophia is an interesting one, okay, because one of the main reasons I made it down to training on Tuesday, obviously going to, get this, time that's available. But, Sophia Huerta has her loan basically done with I don't how do you say the new name? Because they changed the name, right?
I'm not even going to talk about it.
That's the whole thing.
Just call them
Um
OL. We don't care. It's
yeah,
OL.
they're OL. Yeah, exactly. And so I asked Laura, I was like, do you have any idea when she'll get back? Because I know officially in the press release that we got initially was that um she wouldn't be that like the loan goes through June. And so um Laura's not sure. Um she she thinks she might be around before June. She doesn't know if she can actually train before that because I think the end of
They
June is when it's slated to end.
Well, they also don't have the roster space for her currently.
This is true.
I think
Um
Sally Menti was on a short-term deal, so I don't know if they
through
have
the
to
end of
wait.
June.
They have to wait for that deal to end. They also probably are going to have to send another player on loan or something when they take Ryan Brown off of SEI.
Yep. So
So I think it's the roster numbers that are probably the biggest hurdle there. My guess is that she'll be back home, to her home that she owns with her fiance and her dogs. I love her dogs. Um, sooner rather than later, because she actually didn't play in the last game, but she has played her final game for OL. They don't have any more games.
yeah,
Um, so she is done over there. It's just a question of it's a question of paperwork, essentially.
yeah. And that's basically what Laura said. Like, and they wanted to give her a physical and mental break, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. I kind of figure we probably see her in August or something.
Yeah, maybe after the international tournaments. Hard to say.
That's what I was thinking, and that's kind of what I got from that.
I
Yes,
don't know if they have to wait for a window to bring her back.
I don't think so. I don't know. What told me about it most was Laura being confused about it. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Leslie wasn't there. Leslie had some event at Lumen Field. I would have just asked Leslie. But Leslie will probably see this because she has. Hi, Leslie. Um,
Success. If you can give us
so
an answer, please.
if you can answer, please drop it out in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know.
Um, yeah, she did confirm. She said it after the post match, I believe. I think it was post match. It might have been pre-match, but anyway, one of the pressers surrounding the Louisville game that Jess and Coco would play, and she doubled down on that. Um, she didn't give any like minutes restriction. I would have answered that, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
they're both coming back from muscle injuries that have had them out for weeks. So
yes, Laura always said it was muscular. I don't think we talked about it on the show, the last show, I think because it hadn't been official yet, but I think during the last pre-match, Cassie Miller will be out through the summer, is
right.
what Laura said. So that's not great to not have your veteran backup keeper. Because I
Also
mean, it's like,
means they'll probably need to sign another one
oh yeah.
because normally you
I
want
haven't seen
three.
one at training. What
Neither
this
have I.
what they've done is that I've seen, at least during the open ones the last few weeks, is they'll have one of the Sounders Academy guys there.
Yeah.
So it's always funny. I looked over at one of the news channel people. I go, it's weird hearing a man here, like a man yelling from the goal. Because one of
A
them was
man that's
really
not
vocal.
British, to be clear, because
This is true.
Scott
This
you
is
can hear
true.
real loud.
And sometimes Lloyd, the goalkeeper coach, occasionally, but he does
Yes.
have an accent as well.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, so that's I'm trying to think if there are any other sort of notes. Oh, Ryan Brown. Yes, you mentioned Ryan Brown, which is a good one because Ryan Brown has been increasingly in, sort of team drills. She'll be in them. It feels like more and more every time I see her, and then they'll have her do individual work, which makes sense. Again, you're coming off of an ACL injury. So, oh, and then my last thing, sorry, I wanted to get all these sort of injury notes out with Jess and Coco is that during the sort of like actual, I don't know if you'd call them scrimmage, but like legitimate where they had lineups out there. Coco and Jess were in essentially like the second team. So, and I figure you already kind of mentioned this, but yeah, I don't imagine either of them starts. So,
There's no reason to rush their injuries because
no,
you've been getting results while they're out, right?
you've
And
been
that's
getting
that's
results while
what's
they're out,
important. And
and you want
you
them
want them
long term.
healthy for later in the season, right? Exactly. Like
Yes.
that is going to be the priority. It should be the priority. So, especially because Jess had so many injuries in recent years, and with the Euros coming up, they're not going to risk anything, and they shouldn't.
So, shall we go?
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, where are you going to watch all the away games for Seattle Reign FC this year?
Away games. Well, since Rough and Tumble is the home of Circling Seattle Sports, I was thinking of coming here if that's okay with you.
I think that makes a lot of sense. See y'all here.